Hey friend, Roger Christofferson here again with another first listen review. Kind of a first listen review, part of it is. What I'm babbling about right now is Fleetwood Mac, and they have just, well, re-released their Mirage Tour 82 live disc. I mean, it's been out on video. It was actually released in one of their deluxe, I think, was it 2016, I think? They did their Mirage deluxe edition box set thing, and they had most of these songs on that release as well. It was a couple shows that recorded at the Forum that year, and you know, they took the best of those shows and put them together. And like I said, some of the stuff has been released previously, but there are 6 brand new songs on this one. That's kind of what intrigued me to get it. And wasn't going to really do a review on this one, but after listening to it, it was actually pretty good. So I usually try not to do reviews and stuff I don't like, because I don't know, I just don't have a joy to bash on people. But this was pretty good, so last minute here, I'm just going to do a little bit later in the weekend review on this one. The bonus stuff on here, we have Don't Stop Dreams, Oh Well, on the first disc, and then the second one we have Never Going Back Again, Landslide, and Sarah. And cat out of the bag, they were actually worth the price of, getting this. I actually really enjoyed those versions. Why they never released those before, I don't know, but I don't know. I thought they were really good. So, and some of their biggest songs too, like bigger, I don't know, more popular songs than the stuff that they left on the stuff they have already previously released. So I thought it was a little weird after listening to it. I mean, Landslide and Never Going Back Again are huge. I mean, Dreams is huge. Don't Stop, one of the biggest songs they ever had, was not originally released on this stuff. So definitely worth the price of admission for those there alone. I like Fleetwood Mac. I've probably said before that it's like one of the first CDs, actually it was a cassette, that I bought with my own money. It was like way back, really young. It was Rumors, probably, everybody out there listening owns that album, and it's a good place to start. I mean, I since have collected everything going all the way back to the early days, all the way up. I have, I've had this release here before, so I've heard all this before, except for those other 6 songs. Fleetwood Mac is one of those bands that's over the years has gotten, well, I mean, when Lindsay was still in the band, I actually didn't care for the latest version of it, but when Lindsay was still in the band, this got better and better as time went on as a live unit. And that's one thing about this live show is, as far as Mick and John McVie talk about a tight rhythm section. I mean, they had played for years together before, this is in '82. They had been playing for years and years before, even Lindsay and Stevie joined the band, and even before Christine joined the band, and she's been with them since before all that. So I mean, just talk about a tight rhythm section musically. I mean, at this point, even you were not going to find a band more tight than these guys, and just musically, just perfect. The thing a little criticism I have about this is some of the vocals are a little rough. Lindsay, for me, has always had that issue. It's like he can be great or just not great. I don't want to say too much bad, but people that have listened to probably know what I mean. He can get a little bit off sometimes, and a little bit crazy. Gets a little bit more yelling sometimes than singing. That happened a few times on here, but the energy and the performance, kind of makes up for it. That's one thing about this band I always thought was kind of funny. They're Lindsay especially was always about how tight and perfect he can make the studio recordings. Definitely didn't have that same philosophy for the live performances, even the solo stuff. I've always kind of noticed that, but he's just so much fun to watch and listen to that I don't really care. So if you're like a casual fan and you're expecting that perfection, you haven't heard anything live like this before, just beware of that. And also Stevie on this one, a little bit rougher than normal, so especially when they try to match up a little bit of the vocals, sometimes a little bit off. Christine, however, is always pitch perfect. I don't know what it is about her. She is just always spot on. I don't think I've ever heard anything she's done that's not been good. And some of the highlights on this, for me anyway, the version of the Chain. Like it's funny because secondhand news like starts out really different. You can't even, at first you're not even sure what song it is, and they kind of kick into their version. And I personally like when bands change up things a little bit live. I want it to be recognizable, of course, and all the stuff that the key parts of the song to be there, but when they switch things up a little bit and expand on songs, I actually enjoy that. If I want to hear the album, I just can put on the album when I go to a show or even listen to a show. I want something a little different than what the album was, so I personally like that. And the Chain, they kind of did a little bit of improv on that, which I thought was pretty cool. I always enjoy. I'm not a big fan of Don't Stop, but it's kind of funny. It's like one of their biggest songs. But the inclusion of Oh Wow on here was cool. That's going back to the early days with Peter Green, and I always liked it when they did that song. A little different than his version, the early version of it. Lindsey kind of made it his own, modernized it a little bit, which is cool. Rhiannon's always killer. I don't care what form Stevie is in vocally. She always kills that song, makes it her own. Great. One of my, not my favorite songs, but one song I really enjoy is Not That Funny, which was on the original release. And I just always thought it was a good song. It's fun to hear that they were doing that live. And of course, I was very happy to hear Never Going Back Again. That's actually a song I really like a lot. And then the inclusion of Landslide was really cool. Just hearing her sing that one is just, that song there alone was worth it, I think. And of course, they added Sarah. Not my favorite song of theirs, but it was good. Their version of it on here as well. The version was well. I don't think I've ever said that before, but it was good. And of course, all the rest of it on here was always, the stuff that was previously released. But going back and listening again, Sisters of the Moon is such an underappreciated song. I just have to get that out there. That song just has perfect dynamics. They actually really sang very well on that one. Like I said, I'm not tearing these guys down. I love Fleetwood Mac, so like the live performance of this is live. There's no like editing or fixing on it. I hate it when bands go back in and do that. You can tell they didn't do that on here. And of course, they always end their set with Songbird, Perfect Christine song. And I'm glad they kept it that way on the album because sometimes they change around the orders of the songs and live stuff. Not Fleetwood Mac in particular, but a lot of bands will just change up the set. And I'm glad to hear that they left it as the closing song. So overall, I enjoyed it. Another version of it I have. Sounds great. Recording wise, the production of it's great, and I really have nothing to complain about. Like, I may sound like I was bashing on them a little bit. I really wasn't. I'm just making observations and just giving my opinion. And we all have our own opinions, so please don't take it as me bashing on them. I actually love this band, and I really enjoyed listening to this. I'm probably gonna give it a couple more spins because you hear something new every single time. Like, I had never appreciated Sisters of the Moon quite as much until this listen. So every time we listen to something, we hear something new. So gonna keep doing that. As always, feel free to comment and leave your opinions and cool Fleetwood Mac stories that you want to share. Maybe you've seen them in concert. Tell me what you think if you've seen them, and all of us. And as always, like, share, and subscribe. Keep this music alive because I would really like to keep hearing more to this Fleetwood Mac stuff. Maybe some really archival stuff that we haven't heard before. Like a whole album or a concert of stuff we haven't heard. And who knows what the future brings. But until then, we'll see you.